So you don't want a complete stranger at your house. So, and you want to know if the teacher is a good teacher or not. So recommendation and connection are really, really important. And so my first thought was to go to the Luxembourg Expat Facebook group. I don't know if you heard of it, but it has a quite huge community. It's like more than 30,000 of members. And but as you know, in the Facebook group, you can post a lot of posts, and so it's really quite disorganized, and it's not really user friendly. And you cannot even update your post, so you have to scroll a lot to see what you really want. So that's how we came up with this idea that there was a need, and we wanted to provide a really good platform to see services and in the services providers and the clients from another side. So for this project, for the front-end part, I did most of the front. Of course, my teammates helped me too. And for the back-end, it was mostly done by Vanessa and Robert.
I'm going to talk about a bit of our production stages of agriculture. So first of all, how we started the project is we looked at the user flows. As you can see here, it's quite simple, but in the very end, our product is a bit more complex. So first of all, we have a user that can come to our site, to the homepage, can register, and from registration, he actually gets automatically logged in. But let's suppose that the user already has an account, but not logged in. He can log in. Sorry. And sorry. So let's suppose that the user arrives on our site and is not registered, not logged in. He can still search and see some results from the search menu, but he is not actually being able to access the service provider. I mean, we don't. So we collect data as phone number and email number and actual name from our users, but we don't display those informations on the service page if the user doesn't have an account. So he actually has to register to our site to actually see. So the next, basically the next user was a provider who actually comes to our site to provide something. And as you can see, it's basically the same concept. So we took the user and the service in the same database, meaning we didn't make didn't differentiate the two. So basically, every user that registers to our site is a provider and a potential client. Doesn't mean that you actually have to post a service, but you still have the opportunity to do so. And we have an admin user flow. It's pretty much, so an admin cannot be nominated. So we didn't make a feature for a super admin. So basically, an admin has to be manually. There is a so in the data. So someone has to have the access to the database to actually nominate someone as an admin. So an admin can log into the site. For now, he can only see the report list. In the future, we plan to implement, because we have a ban system. So for now, you can ban service for any misconduct, like anything that doesn't go along the values that we set for the site. And you can actually ban users. If you ban the user, then all of the user services are not going to be displayed in the service page, rather as the search results. So basically, the admin is there to administrate. As you can see, our database is quite simple. We decided to opt for a more easy to manage database because we figured that other parts of the project is going to actually take more resources from us. What's not indicated here is that we also have a report database that's basically connected to posted services. And yeah, basically that's our database. For project management, we use Trello. We could see your progress. We could set what kind of tasks we have to do. We also saw how much time we have until the end of the project, and if it was needed, we could speed up or slow down and focus on details. For version controlling, we use GitHub, especially with the desktop application. We had a couple of issues with it, but in the end, we ironed out everything, and the final project is quite representable. For the front end, we use Bootstrap as a framework. For backend, we use the Laravel. It basically provided us with the MVC. If you take a look at our code, it's actually quite heavily model and object oriented. So we've been utilizing Laravel quite a bit. Regarding security, we have admin restricted areas, so that, for example, if a user is banned, he cannot be accessed only by an admin. So his page only can be accessed by an admin, and the admin has the opportunity to actually unban even user. We also hash passwords. Use a Google API to secure 3 or 4 more. So basically, how we say it is the Google API is a captcha system. So it's basically making sure that we don't get SQL injection. So basically, we are utilizing it on 3 main sites because we thought that these 3 would be the main potential for SQL injections. These sites are the registration, the login, and the ad service. Also, we took care of maybe if the user is trying to enter a string manually into the search bar, for example, something that doesn't exist or something that he is not supposed to get. So he will get an error message saying that you either go to a wrong site or you're trying to access something that's actually not accessible by you.
So we're going to show you our beautiful website. So I will present you the website as a service provider. So when as a service provider, I'm in the homepage, and I can first see in the homepage we have like 9 random services. So just to check the services the website is providing. Then if I want to post a service, I have to register first. So I will and yes, that's my email. No secret password. So if you register, you're gonna be you will receive in your email a link to activate your account. So here it is. So you can confirm account, and now you are officially in the database of our website. So then when I'm logged in, I can go to other service, and then I can, for example, French teacher as a service or French. And then you can write a short description. So that's the short description that every user can see, and then you will have the full description for the logged in users. Okay. So now I am officially in the database, and this is my account. So this is the picture you have by default. So you can change your profile picture, and then you can change everything in your, as your name or phone number. And then you can actually see that the service I'm providing is here, and I can edit it or delete it as well. That's pretty much what the service provider can see.
As someone who is looking for a service, when I get the page, I can search, for example, developer, search for a developer, for example, and I'll see the results. And I will have some options here. I will find the description that fits me the most and work. However, as I'm not logged in, I will see just a picture and the summary, not really a lot of information. I can also not leave a comment. So I will log in, I will get an account. However, let's say I'm going to type a wrong password. And that's because I actually forgot my password. Oh. What's going to happen, I'm going to receive in my email. Something I think is nice. Yeah. So I will reset the password. A very difficult one. And that's it. So now that I can log in. And now I can see that service again. And when I click on it, I can see all the details, the contact information, a full description. I can even access the provider's page. I'll leave a comment. Yeah, that's a good comment. Let's see. And there's also, in the top of the page, a link to a contact us form. So let's say I want to send a message to the admin. So yeah, name. That's also, yeah, email. For a great message to be sent. So here's our website. And
So, as the user sends us an email, as an admin, you will be able to access give an email that was actually targeted when we send the email. And this is the same email that we are sending our verifications and reset passwords from. It's not quite safe, but if we would actually have a website, we would actually designate a new email for these purposes so that anyone else can actually access these emails. So right now we are logged into my account, and this is an admin account. So as you can see, I have an additional link that's actually taking me to the admin panel. And in the admin panel, for now, we can only see the pending reports, but we will in the future implement to see the banned services and the banned users. This is to actually make the administrators work a bit easier to see what users banned, who is not banned, and to just make the whole flow a bit easier. So for now, we are going to go to the reports. As you can see, we have unhandled and handled reports. It's nothing too fancy, to be honest. It's only for the admins, so we didn't put as much time into this as we did with the other pages. But you can access so you have access to the service, so you can see the ID of the service, the report that was sent, and the actual provider's name. So, and we made it easy so that you can access both the service and the person who actually posted the service. Can we go to Plumber? So basically, we can see the service as a normal user, and the only difference is that you can actually ban service. Other than that, you can just basically see the whole flow if there is something that's violating your terms or not. That's really how a admin sees. Yeah. And you can also see the profile. In the profile, you also have a button that's actually banning the user. If you ban the user, then all of his services are going to be banned. And basically, if he's still signed in, he will remain signed in until he logs out. And when he tries to log in again, he won't be able to log in with a message saying that he was actually banned. It's not the most secure system, but in the future, we plan to implement a system that actually, quote unquote, kicks out the user. Yeah, can we actually report a service? Like, for example, the comment. This page is not also fleshed out, but it basically does what we are expecting it. You can enter your message that's actually being sent to the administration team, and then that's it. Just type something. And then you can see that the report has been sent, and the administration team will actually see this service being either violating for some terms or whatever. Okay.
So now the difficulties we have to face. So for the front-end part, the most difficult, the hardest difficulties I had to face was responsiveness. So we chose Bootstrap as a framework, and at first glance, it's quite Bootstrap seems quite easy, and indeed it's quite simple if you use it as it is, and it has a very well developed CSS backbone, but if you want to change it, it has a reverse engineering you have to do, and so it was really the hardest part for the front. It took me a lot of time to read the documentation and then to override the CSS code the Bootstrap had, and also it's adding a lot of codes. You're not going to use every line of code of this, but it's really, yeah. And
so we had some problems with the routings. Sometimes when we merge from master or merged into master, the routings changed, and maybe a person already defined the routing and then the other person defined that function to another routing. It was causing some conflict, but in the end we resolved it. The front page carousel that you can see at the very top, very bottom of the page was kind of pain there because it was hard-coded at the first, and we had to rewrite the whole thing in JavaScript to actually make it display or needs as it is. Implementing the Google API with the CAPTCHA was rather a smooth sail, but I still had to look up a lot of documentation, figure it out. I also had difficulties sending emails for the first time. It was not quite easy, but at the end I figured it out, so it was alright.
As for me, I have to say I had some difficulties with the Ajax calls on the page, but mostly for me, the most difficult part was trying to implement a filter on the search results, which is why this is actually going to be a future feature. It's not in this version. But then in the future, we are going to have not only this filtering for date or name, but also by categories, and we plan to add ratings for the services, so you can also search based on the ratings of other users.
So in the future, we are planning to implement a rating system so that the users can see how other users rated that given service. As you could see, for example, for the report page was quite simplistic. We want to make that prettier. We also want to add filtering by location. I know that Luxembourg is quite small, and we mainly target Luxembourg, but it's still good to see who's closest to you. And yeah, filtering.
What if I was a company and I wanted to register myself? Where do I?
You can, as a company, you can still register as a company.
So we just basically come to the registration page. It's, we didn't differentiate single person company.
But here if I register, I would register directly to me. As a company, I don't want to register to me.
Well, you can still enter the company's email, right? Or is there something that I'm missing? Or?
No, but where would I put the company name? How would we display?
Oh, instead of your name, you would put the company name, and then basically everything would be the same. So, yeah.
Okay.
Also, at the user page, we didn't decide to store the images that our user give us as on our own database, but to actually have it uploaded somewhere else and then just give us the URL.
Could you show if it's possible to report a user?
Yeah,
I saw that only on the admin section, but I didn't see it.
Oh wait, report the user.
Yes.
No, sorry. You cannot report the user on the services for now.
So can you report a service?
Yes, yeah.
As a user, I can report another service.
Yes.
We had a talk with another group also about some security with emails and phone numbers, just user details that are almost like free given.
Mhm.
On your website, there's thing is that you need to have an account to see these information. Still, it's not really right to just give away information like that, especially if you don't give your consent.
Mhm.
Like, I create my account, I put my number, I feel like, okay, it's a secure environment, nobody's going to take it. But every user on the website has this information for himself.
Well, what we wanted to do is basically, that's a future feature again. If the user is not verified by his email, then he won't be able to see the details. So other than that, I don't know how to make it more secure.
It's not enough from registration and so on. You have to,
Oh, we say
especially,
it's a point of.
yeah, it's a,
Only it's a point of. So I'm sorry to say this, but like Le Bon Coin, okay, I know this is not a reference or anything,
whatever this service provider can access phone number like this.
Yeah, but you should have a big disclaimer.
Yeah, of
that
course,
you can
of
access.
course, when you register,
That's-
of course, when you register, you have to say to the user, you authorize us to publish your stuff, yes, of course. That's the
As a user provider, I want my phone number or my contact details to be shown to the potential client, so I want mine, I guess, to give my.
There is a new regulation called GDPR, where yeah, it's all about like privacy and data and so on, and you need really, especially when you have like this type of website where it's just people, these people can access to them, how to verify them, and really how they can be shared everyone. So if you want to go further with that, you need to
Your request are of course good. I mean, of course, you just want to have clients and stuff. That's normal. You want to just have them, want them to have contacts. But yeah, like you said, just ensure security and there are not only nice people on the internet. And for Le Bon Coin, do you have access to email?
Yeah, no, you have access to the phone number. I don't know about the email.
if they
I don't know about
accept
the
it,
email actually.
Yeah.
But you don't have to accept anything.
If
Just
they have
log in and
messaging, they have messaging feature.
Yeah, you have a messaging feature, of course, yes. You can make, actually, as a user, that's the difference. As a user, they choose to make it public or not. So either you have the option to make it public if you want, because you don't care, or either you make it private and you have to exchange first to authorize the user to see it. So that's two different approaches.
Question in terms of monitoring, so I noticed that we intend to have like a rating system at the end, but how are you monitoring the number of people for each type of services? Let's say for plumber, you said you will want to have a list of 20 plumbers or 100, or how do you monitor that? And if someone is leaving, I don't know, I'm what you prefer leaving the country, how do you manage this data to make sure that you see?
So if, for example, you're a client and you try to contact the user, the service provider, he's not in Luxembourg anymore, you can report the service and say he's not in Luxembourg anymore, and then.
Yeah, but as a user, we expect that the job of the admin to monitor the list of, because the idea is really nice, and my first question was about Facebook expats following. So, and I heard the way that it's a mess to find something. Today is really good, but after the added value is to have like up-to-date list. So if someone is leaving, I think it's more you going to say, okay, this plumber is not in Luxembourg anymore, or we don't have like thousands of plumbers, thousands of aggressors, how to really manage the list of the providers.
You can see that we actually have a last update field, so you can actually see yourself when the service is posted.
But it's a legitimate point, if you had 100
Yeah.
cooks,
Yeah, that would be.
So,
In the future version, we will take care of multiple entries, like such as like if we, I don't know, have 20 cooks and there is still need for them, then we will allow for more cooks to actually register on our website. But it's really in that, and we didn't really have time to do this. Like it's really a system that actually needs quite some logic to it, so we didn't have time for that.
Like exactly, you may send like every year an email for providers. Are you still in Luxembourg? Please fill in this form. If not, will be deleted. Know that.
I saw one thing that can just give you an idea or whatever. I saw a lot of service provider websites oriented, let's say, that actually force the service provider, the user provider, to validate, like just to click a button to say I'm still here every week. And if you don't, the service is just idle. So that could be something that's much happier.
So yeah, as a future features, we want to implement the ratings. So we really want the your slogan is to say like linking expert to expert, so you really want to choose the best, of course, of the user, the service providers. And we can regulate the numbers of plumbers, for example.
Yeah, I have some questions exactly about the categories, because right now there is no category, it's just based on the name. And the autocomplete of the research is also based on the names. Yeah, the rating and stuff. And you know of Fiverr?
Yes.
I guess to the
Yeah.
okay. And other than that, here, I just wanted to ask you about some responsiveness. Because you can see your things.
Oh yeah, we didn't see that.
So here is,
So you can see you've been trying to make it responsive. And not everything is responsive yet, but it was just a matter of time. So
You had mentioned that you changed the Bootstrap framework.
well, not the framework, more like the actual CSS.
So the CSS of the Bootstrap. So you actually went and changed Bootstrap CSS,
overriding.
or you overlooked it?
Yeah.
Okay, no, that's, I was gonna go further, but if you had said you changed it, I would have challenged that.
Overriding.
So that's good.
You have a reCAPTCHA, and you talked about the reCAPTCHA.
Yes.
When do you use it?
Or only on the pages that are actually displayed the reCAPTCHA sign. So registration, login, and add service.
So if you go on one of these pages, we're going to be asked for reCAPTCHA.
No, it's basically a token what Google gives us. It basically has a rating, how likely a user is going to be a bot. Also, if it's a bot, the capture is being called in an asynchronous JavaScript call, and if so it's actually getting a token, and the token is being displayed in a hidden field. And if the token is not filled, then you basically click too fast, and it's not humanly possible to click that fast. So it's gonna be a bot, most likely.
Okay. I mean, it's just that you talked about reCAPTCHA was like
No,
expecting
no,
a real
no.
reCAPTCHA. Yeah, but yes. Yeah, just have a last question, just about pricing, because you're talking about services, and there is no free service.
Yeah.
So what's your plan for that?
So we didn't want to implement the actual payment on our side because that would involve us actually contacting banks here or PayPal or something that can actually transfer money. So we leave that to the users. So we basically only provide a platform for them to actually connect.
So how would you fund the platform if the user were dealing with everything offline? You would have no funding for your platform.
We can always put some advertisements here and there, and in the future we actually plan to implement something that would actually involve us taking small fee.
One question about really the organization of your work. So you were in charge of the front end, you were more doing like the back end. So did you really work together, or you were like more on your own on your side, or?
No, we really work as a team, so we really complement each other. So if I had a problem, I can ask my teammates and they help me, and it was really, yeah, we played as a team.
Yeah, me too. And the same thing. We were doing the things that we discussed that we were going to do, and while we were implementing something, we had a problem, we could talk to each other. It was a teamwork.
But you were in charge of the front end, so it was you that proposed the picture, colors, everything. And
How did you all coordinate the work between the front end and the back end?
Sorry?
How did you all coordinate the work between the front end and the back
Well,
end?
as you could see, we actually use Trello so we could keep track where we are. And other than that, it was just basically discussing how this should look. Is this button going to be okay? And we actually tested our site. And if someone saw something that was not functional or was not pretty, then the person took care of it.
So did you all build feature by feature together, or did you all split the work and say, okay, you build that feature first, I'll build that feature?
It was more like splitting the features and then putting the whole thing together.
You will press a button on the remote, I believe, with the screen you shot one. Yeah, just like that.
Okay, are there any final questions?
I think we're all done.
All right, thank you. Okay, could you give your
Ouais. J'ai grandi à deux Swell et Swell. Très récent. Ils étaient médecins. Non. En France, ils étaient de Damas, mais il n'y avait pas de cardiologie à Damas. En France, ils étaient hébergés chez les cousins. Non, jusqu'à longtemps.
Sweet.
C'est avec Marocco. Ouais, ouais, je chante pas quelque chose. C'est pas une Syrien. C'est bientôt Noël.
Oui, c'est pas bon pour ma ligne. Un peu.
Ouais.
It is a Lithuanian here for this part, I believe. you should access all the files, not just show, say, and supervisors or.
Everybody here has their application running, so they can just show
Est-ce que le là? Oh. C'est ça que.
Ah, c'est ça, oui.
Thank you very much. My friends.
L'autre truc,